Ana Olive, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.
So, I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. I sure am glad you did. As are our advertisers. Hey, remember to support them because they're supporting us. And most online, these podcasts and stuff, anybody that advertises on them, when you go to their website, they'll usually have a little code there where you can save a little bit of money. And they'll also usually have, that this is becoming very popular now, a little space where you can type in, don't write a doctoral thesis on this. Basically, all they want to know is how you heard about them, so they know where to keep sending their checks, what's working for them. So just write Jamie Roxx, the guy with the hair, the guy who talks to rock stars. They'll know where you're coming from. It helps everybody. Helps everybody. And if you own a small business, every little bit. Anyhow, I am very excited tonight. We've got a fantastic guest all the way from the I was just talking to him before we came on camera, not so frozen north right now. Spring has sprung. Summer is right on the edge. Alberta, Canada. And our guest tonight is Mr. Greg Julas. Or what did I say? I said Julies. No, it's Julas.
That's right, yeah.
Man, what am I reading my thing wrong here? I'll cut that out and fix it. Let me try that again.
Okay, that's no problem.
Joining us tonight is Mr. Greg Julas. How you doing, Greg?
Oh, awesome. How are you? How's
doing
things?
Great. Doing great. It's been a busy day today. Man, everything it's like dominoes today. I go to do one thing, and I see out of the corner of my eye, oh, that needs done too, and then it just
What's going on?
And it starts with one chore. The 30-second chore, watering the plants, was the chore that started the whole day today. And we have a bunch of plants outside, but inside we don't have many. We got 4, a terrarium thing. And I went to do that. And then I kept seeing that. I'm like, I need to, the door's been sticking. I better fix that. The back door needs those hinges tightened. And then all the chores, just trying to knock some paintings out,
And then you start making more work for yourself sometimes. And
I'm telling you.
Drop things and...
Yeah, it was one of them days. It's crazy. But a lot of stuff got done. I won't get hollered on when the wife gets home. If anything, I do too much. She gets a little annoyed. In the studio here, she has a table. She does ceramics. She has a pottery wheel and all that kind of stuff, excuse me. And she's tall. She's 6'1", and I got her this chair, and it was a taller chair. Anyway, my back hurts from bending down on this table, so I went and got a bunch of cinder blocks and put under the legs of all 4 table legs to raise the table up. Yeah, And so,
how tall are you?
I'm only 5'6". Yeah, so there's a significant height difference.
Big discrepancy.
And we're real Mutt and Jeff. But anyway, she was on there making, I don't know what the heck she's making. She's got a bunch of stuff over there. And she's over there just sputting and spurtering and just, I'm like, what is the problem? She goes, this table's too high now. And I'm like, okay, Goldilocks, I will bring it back. What do you prefer? She goes, no, I appreciate it. It's just, she goes, they make a table for this pottery. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll sell a painting. Because I know that's going to be.
Does she have the wheel or the rotating wheel?
Yeah, we got her the electric wheel and all that. And she doesn't have.
Maybe she can make it. Maybe she can make your ant coming out of the sea. Some kind of pottery.
Exactly. She makes weird shit though. But anyway, that's pretty weird though back there. Anyway, for those, this is probably going to be an audio thing. For those who don't know, I'm halfway through. By the time this airs, this painting will probably be posted already, and you folks will go, "What was he thinking?" But right now, it's halfway done. It is a giant ant climbing out of the sea. And there's a boat there on the beach, and
I want a picture like that for my house
of an ant. You need a samurai. Look at
It's
the
kind of unique. It's
look
unique.
at that painting behind you.
It's very unique.
You got this, folks.
Oh yeah, Sam.
It's a samurai. It's red and white. It's a samurai, and it's about 12 feet long. It's huge. It's like a billboard in his living room there. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's all samurai flags in here.
That's cool.
That
That is very cool.
all over the place.
Well, that brings up a good point, and I'm glad we're on this tangent because I mentor some young, not so much, not necessarily young. The majority right now are, but I've had older folks too that just want to. I don't teach painting, but I do teach people about the paint art business, which is my main thing. For those who don't know, my day job is a painter, and it's part of my Patreon. You know how Patreon works. They have different levels, and one of the things is you get mentored. And you have one-on-one conversations with me on the phone or video or whatever, and for their painting business. And questions they have about contracts, how to work with gallery, all that kind of stuff. The boring stuff. The stuff that painters are no good at. I just am because I'm old and been doing it forever. But when I was there, I wasn't any good at it either. And so hopefully the idea is they can learn from all my mistakes. But anyhow, one of the first things I tell these folks is you have to have an area to work. Now, for a long time, I would rent a place, a studio somewhere, and set it up and have to leave my house and shave, get dressed, leave my house, go to work. Because I thought that and maybe at that time it did work for me because it gave me a little structure. Now I have a studio in-house, in my house. And you don't have to have a studio no matter what you're doing, or a music room necessarily. You could be a corner. But
just help it organized
and surrounded by whatever it is that helps you get into your groove. And Greg, folks, is really into samurai culture and all of this and that. And so he's inspired creatively, I'm sure, by being in that environment. And that is so important. Greg, do you see, I'm the same way. I keep things, and people be surprised. I have a lot of art in here. And it's not my art, it's other art.
Yeah. Oh, it's not yours. It's not your art.
Stuff but my stuff doesn't stay. That's the whole idea. Paint it, get it out, ship it out. Yeah. You know, that's but my point is find a place where you can get into that zone. And it doesn't mean I'm not trying to be all California and new agey. It doesn't have to be a zenful place or whatever. If you're a screamo death metal band,
stuff that inspired
you probably don't want zen. You know what I mean? You want to look like you're in hell or something. I don't know. You know, whatever. The thing is, when you work, no matter what you do, and anybody who's, especially creative people, you get into a zone, a flow, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And
it does.
Yeah.
Takes your life in interesting places.
Exactly.
I
used to know a singer. He was a country singer, and he would always he had an old truck that he was one of those guys that had, I don't know if you've ever seen these, where they redo these trucks and they look like a piece of junk. They are all rusted and stuff, but they clear coat it, and it's supposed to look like that. This guy spent a lot of money on that. It looks like he just drove it out of a field somewhere, but that was what he wanted. That's what he liked. And he said he got all his, he kept it. He wanted it for him. Yeah, and he got all the songs, his song ideas, driving that truck around the back roads of where he lived in Kentucky or wherever. And I said, don't let anything, keep oil in that truck, man. Make sure that's good, because that helps you get into your zone. You know,
for sure. Yeah.
I just think that's very important, that a lot of up and coming people getting into like music and whatnot, they don't realize that. You know what I mean?
You're like a writer.
No,
aren't you a writer, songwriter too?
No.
Are you a songwriter?
I have no music.
Not at all.
I listen to music. I appreciate good music. People always ask me, they're like, what kind of music do you listen to, Jamie? And I'm like, I listen to good music. Try to. I've heard a lot of bad. I grew up hanging around musicians and stuff because musicians are cool. Artists are weirdos. They're boring. They don't do much. Guitar players or singers, man, they know some girls. So growing up, that's who I hung out with. They threw the best party. It's funny. I was at a party myself not long ago, and I was talking to somebody who's a little older than me, maybe about 20 years on me. And what do they call it? The generation, the boomers or whatever. And talking about high school, differences in high school. And he was like, oh, yeah, all the jocks. They got all the girls, football star, quarterback. And I said, man, not in my school. Our sports teams were terrible. The guys we would have a school assembly. I'll never forget. I remember the first one we had, and it was just a wall of black leather jackets and like Rush t-shirts and shit. You know what I mean? King Diamond and stuff. It was just burnout rock. That was the high school. And then me with my weird hair. Yeah, but the ones all the girls went for were, when you went to any of these girls' house, they didn't have Isaiah Thomas or somebody on the wall. No sports people at the time. They had bands. They had John Bon Jovi on the wall and stuff. That's who they.
That's kind of like my hometown. My hometown was just like that for sure.
And it's funny. I had been thinking of a different party that our neighbors across the street had. I think it was a birthday party or something. They invited us over, and all of those gals that were over there were a little older than me. Not much. In my mind, I'm still 20 years old. The reality is far from that. But anyway, as soon as you get some of those women a couple drinks in them, oh man, they start putting on their playlists and I'm like, really? Docking again? Okay, I'm down. Breaking the chains. Let's go. Haven't heard this in Crocus. Oh, I haven't heard Crocus in a long time, you know? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Dio awesome. On that play? No, Dio. I'm like, oh, yeah, get it. He looked like a troll, but he was really talented. I understand. I don't think any of those gals had. Huh?
You like, remember why?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Y&T?
Yeah, all that stuff. But my point is,
I listened to some Zebra last night. I listened to Who's Behind the Door. The guitar and that's just killer. Just killer.
Growing up, my dad got us this giant, not like they have today. Today, you say, oh, I got a satellite dish. And it's this little pizza box shaped size thing. No, the 80s when I was a kid, my dad got a satellite dish and this thing looked like you could talk to NASA on the moon or something. It was this giant thing. Yeah, we could pick up stuff from Korea and stuff. It was amazing.
I remember smacking the top of the TV in black because it went to black and white. You'd have to hit it.
Well,
turn the color.
We watched MTV, but MTV had a lot of crap on it. There was a lot of Air Supply and Parent. Just Chicago. Nobody wanted to listen to Chicago. That cool music was from your country. Much Music. I watched the shit out of Much Music.
Oh, yeah.
It was, that was the thing.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I was watching that in college when it was quite a bit. Much Music. It was always on the TV.
I remember it was weird too. I found it a little weird because they had some really cool bands from your neck of the woods. Yeah, this is all kind of new wavy stuff, but the Northern Pikes and stuff like that. Yeah, they were great.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a bunch of bands from your era, and it was weird because they almost had they were alternative, but they almost had a rural feel to them. You know what I mean? You're like, man, this could really go into country and western real quick here. You know what I mean? But the music was Doug and the Slugs and shit. It was so good. And I love that stuff.
Yeah.
At that time. And there was a bunch of weird stuff too. I was a big Saga fan. That was great.
I love Saga.
I do this morning
guitar
vlog, and I'll put
just killer
like music or something on it, somebody's birthday or whatever. And then I've usually painted a painting of the person or something along the theme of it. And I can't remember why, but I posted Wind 'Em Up by Saga the other day. And I said, this video is amazing.
I like that.
And that guitar solo where he mimics the sound of a roulette wheel or the clicking of the roulette wheel on the guitar. I'm like,
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm amazed.
How do you do that?
So happy. But I will also, yeah, and I know it's crazy. The world is crazy and all this and that. But I'm a huge Canadian
so
fan
crazy,
and ever have
so
been,
crazy
always
lately.
have been, because I'm the world's biggest Rush fan. I love Rush.
I think I've seen them twice.
I never saw him,
Live,
and
just
I'm
amazing.
jealous. What a band! What a band! Let me ask you. So you're rocking. You're a kid growing up in Alberta there, and you're rocking to rock. You're doing your thing. Did you know? Were you always playing guitar, or was that something that happened later, or how did that come about? Oh,
yeah, it happened later. Actually, it happened later. I was listening to Metallica, Kill 'Em all the time. That was my favorite album. I love that. I still love it.
I saw that video for one, and that messed me up in the head for like weeks. I'm like, geez,
it's an existential crisis.
Am I really on the bus, or was I in a battle and I'm stuck in my head and I'm just inventing all of this?
A lot of their lyrics are just like, they really are deep, like existential, like things that they talk about.
Just what teen boys need to be doing.
Yeah.
No wonder we're all the way we are. You know what I mean? Jesus. That's right.
Yeah, kids. I love that stuff.
We read Catcher in the Rye not because we had to, just because we wanted to. It's sad. It's just crazy. But it's because of the music we were listening to, really. You were listening to this stuff. And it just, I don't know. And I'm going to sound like an old man. And I'm not talking about kids not pulling their pants up, although I don't understand why they would walk around without them pulled up. But whatever. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I don't see the kids that intellectually involved with their entertainment today. And maybe I think about movies and stuff like we all love that. The more messed up, the better. Man, Twin Peaks came out. We were like eating that shit up. We loved it. But I don't think there's anything that matches that today for the kids. You know what I mean? I can say, I'm not putting the kids down. I'm saying they don't have that plate of food in front of them, is what I'm trying to go. Maybe with music, yours is great. I love your music. It's fantastic. And there are some cool stuff. I have cool bands on the show, and I'm like, wow, that's a great lyric. I get a lot of titles from my paintings from lyrics, man. I'll hear a turn of a phrase. I grab my one of my little books here, and I write that shit. I'm like, oh, that's a great title for a painting.
Okay.
I just looked down on this one. I couldn't tell you what metal song this came from to save my life. But at some point, I heard this line in a song, "The distant warning of sirens." I don't know what that's from. It's not. I haven't painted that yet, but there'll be some painting. My wife will look at it and go, "What are you going to call it?"
Yeah.
Let me grab the book.
Oh,
this is a good title. I paint about 300.
How many paintings do you have?
200 to 300 a year. 300's a lot.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, usually right around 2. I would say this year it's only May, but I was sick all week last week. I didn't get anything done. Some work on some commission stuff, but it depends. It depends on the commissions. That's my main thing is people want paintings of their kids or their wife or something.
Right.
And that's really what pays.
And you got a big market for selling those around?
Well, we did. We did ship all over the planet. Shipped a lot to China. I don't think we're going to be doing that too much. I'm sure there's a tariff that nobody wants to pay. Thank you. Yeah, and here's the thing. What people don't understand. I'm not going to get into political. I'm not turning the show into a political show. I'm just going to say there's one thing with these tariff bullshit. So if I saw, let's do easy numbers, $100 painting. If I sell a painting for $100, that means it's going to cost somebody in China $245 to get that painting. Just from that, not including shipping. The shipping would throw all that off. But so what that means, boys and girls, is that $145 that the government gets Don't you think that should be going to Jamie if somebody wants to pay that for a painting? Come on. That's my point of view, but
Right.
yeah, but
it's your,
you know, it's
art,
just
your art.
anyway, let's get back to rock. So you said, I got to meet some girls, man.
Sure.
I'm in Alberta. I'm in this cool town. I've got the hair. What more do they want? I better start a band or something. Let me learn to play the guitar here. Or was it more of a Foreigner jukebox hero moment? You went to see the band and...
Oh. No, I just love, I guess I just like sounds and lyrics, and I just like, yeah.
Okay.
I love like hearing, like, I think I used to be a drummer for a good, like, way back, and the guys these guitarists would come in and they'd set up their Marshall stacks and stuff, and I just loved hearing it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just so intense. I love drumming, but I just wanted to hear that sound all the time. After that, some guys would come and play like the Four Horsemen or something, Metallica or something, and I was just like,
it's amazing.
That's what I want to do. I want to hear that all the time. See somebody
that can really play, and you're like, holy shit! It's like watching a wizard or something cast a spell. It's amazing. It's really
sometimes feeling where it's this internal thing, like a rush or something. You just feel that.
Yeah,
you don't get that feeling anywhere else or something. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like when I hit something musically or like a lyric or something, I get that rush. Like then I know it's good because it's like it's really hitting me on a deep level or something. So yeah, I think some of that. Yeah. So like when I hear some of my older music, I still get those feelings, like the rush, because it sticks with you. The music, right?
See, folks,
like it sticks in the music.
For those
like the music brings
who
it
are
back,
out there listening and watching, who are not in the creative world, I don't know, whatever it is you're doing, I'm sure it's important. You're selling insurance or something, whatever, doesn't matter. It's hard for you to wrap your head around that. But what Greg just described, that's the artist moment. That is, and you've created that feeling. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
And when I do my blog and stuff, and you'll see me, I felt a little bit of a flex on this one. That's what I'm talking about. You did something and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good, even for me. And you're not being a braggart or something. It's just, you recognize it.
No, it's just, it feels right or something. Like, it just hits you on a deep level. Like some people, like they're singing along, all of a sudden they get all choked up, like about their song.
Absolutely.
And that's because it's hitting some deep.
Absolutely. I've seen bands on stage, big names and stuff, where that happens. And I'm like, man, that guy's getting worked up over this. And I'm like, this is the 150th night in a row show in a row he's played this, and it's still doing it. And it may not, you know what? I didn't feel that, but it wasn't important.
Exactly.
It was a good song. Exactly. But it was cool seeing him.
Yeah, it's so personal. Yeah. But maybe sometimes people can.
Music's powerful.
Yeah, maybe
I've always been jealous of you musicians.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you a good example, folks. Everybody remember what was playing, what kind of music, at least maybe not the track, but at least the type of music that was playing the first time you kissed a girl. You were at a party or something and you kissed a girl. Yeah, you know that. Nobody has ever been in an art museum and went, yeah, I kissed this girl and there was this amazing painting on the wall behind it. No, it's never happened. Music, it happens every day. I'm jealous of that. It's amazing. So that's cool. So you're recording these, and I really like your video for, and I want to get it right here. So let me, Last Survivor, It's Never Over. That's the one we've been playing leading up to the show. That's a great track. It's a great track, cool video for it.
Yeah.
Folks, we'll have a link in the description below. You can watch it on YouTube. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
We have two more we're going to play here in a little bit. Let me ask you, though, on Last Survivor, when I hear that, it's like my paintings. People see the end result of the painting. They're like, he just knocked that out. Sometimes I do. But a lot of times, man, they fight and want to throw it in the street. It's hard. I've never thrown one in the street yet, but don't get any ideas, canvases. Last Survivor, when I hear it, it's polished, it's great. And I can't tell. I'm like, that's just a great, but it's been through the process. You know what I mean? And you don't have to answer this if you don't. I don't mean to overstep any boundaries. I can't tell. It sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Was that an easy one, or was that a hard one when you were writing it and recording it? So it was a hard one.
Oh, that took like a 6 month, about 6 months to write that.
I have a lot of those.
It was a hard one. Yeah, that was like kind of the inspiration for that was just like I was watching some war movies or something, and just like guys getting rescued by helicopters, like in the war, like when they're like almost like their whole. I think it was, I can't remember the movie, but the guys were just barely, they were just getting killed. And there was just a couple guys and they're getting hauled out by helicopters. I remember seeing that. So that was kind of
that Mel Gibson one? It was a pretty good war movie. Vietnam. Or Heroes, I think it was called, or something. We Were Soldiers. That's what it was. Man, and they go to pick that guy up. They grab his legs there, and the skin came off. Oh, man. That's not. I have friends of mine that are really into horror movies. Yeah. And they're like, what's your favorite horror movie? And I'm like, the first 15 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. Pretty freaking horrific. And that really happened.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty.
There was no hockey masks, none of that.
Yeah, that's a
Didn't need it, you know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's just nonstop. And
that's a really good movie.
Cast.
Excellent.
Everybody and anybody's in that. And they're all good. Yeah, that was an amazing. One of my favorites. But it's rough. It's rough to watch sometimes because you're like, gee Louise. It'll mess you up. Every time I watch that, I'll go to Denny's or something. Me and the wife will go to IHOP or something, and you'll see some old timers in there. And I'm thinking in my head, but I don't see that. We've aged out of that. When that first came out, I had that experience a little more. I didn't talk to anybody, but I was thinking in my head, man, I bet this guy's seen some shit. And they probably had it. Maybe they had. I don't know. But yeah, Jesus. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That was rough for me. Yeah. And I grew up in Detroit, folks. I'm kidding. Don't send me emails. I hear Detroit's very nice. It wasn't so much when I lived there. That's all I'm saying. We lived in Ontario.
How long did you live in Detroit for?
What was it? Up till grade 5, I think, maybe 6. And then we moved over to the state. My dad for work. He was actually working in the state and making that drive. It was like an hour and a half drive each way, maybe 2 hours. Yeah, he was on the road like 4 hours a day. And finally, he just, we bought a house and stateside, moved over there. And yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. That's cool. Now we've got 2 tracks we're going to play. We've got In the Midst of the Lions. These are both fantastic. And we also have Last Survivor. What should we play first for everybody so they get a taste of Gregory Julas?
You can play The Last Survivor. It's Never Over.
Okay, here it is, folks. Check this out. we're back, folks. We're back.
Sure.
That was
Get
Last
back into
Survivor,
it. Sure.
and what a track. I do not lie. What a good track. I've been playing the official video for it, leading up to this, and the response has been great. People email me or DM me. My wife always corrects me. She's a little younger than me. She's up with all the terms. Yeah, they DM me. They're like, that's fantastic. I'm like, yeah, I know. Check it out. Here's his Instagram page. And speaking of which, we have all of Greg's social media links and everything down in the description below. I wanted to ask you, Greg, are these out? Are these available? They're on Spotify, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, they're all on Spotify.
Very, very
major
cool.
platforms.
Well, folks, like I said, when you find
Apple and all that.
First off, when you find a cool band you dig or whatnot, chances are the whole reason you're friends with the friends you're friends with is common interest. You guys all like the same thing. That's why you're friends. So let them know if you discover a cool band you like or an indie movie or whatever, a good book.
Yeah.
Let them know. Add it to your playlists and stuff. All these artists work real hard, and music is no joke. We all think, us not in the music business, we all think that Greg, you rolled out of bed this morning and he just wrote this song. That's all there is to it. No, there's a whole lot to it, and expense as well. Greg chose the expensive art to pursue. I went with friends to studios. Going to a studio, ladies and gentlemen, is like riding in a taxi cab. You go in and the meter is going by the second. Yeah, and Greg, I'm sure you've seen these movies where Val Kilmer's playing Jim Morrison. Yeah, let's just lay around the studio and eat some pizza for a week. And I guess that's how they used to do it. They don't do it that way today. You could, but you got to be writing a big check for nothing. It's crazy. It's crazy. But what a track. That's cool. That and a cool video on that as well. Like I said, we have a link to it down below. But yeah, let people know, add this stuff to your playlist, help get the word out, and buy it. It's super cool. There is a cool feeling when somebody sends you a little cash for what it is you're doing. It puts a pep in your step, man. That's all I'm saying. It does. Gets me out of bed in the morning. Better than throwing rotten tomatoes at you. I've never had that. That's not a challenge for anybody out there. Anyhow. Up next, we've got, let's just keep the rocking going. In the Midst of the Lions. Tell us a little bit about this one. How did this one come about?
Yeah, I was watching some samurai documentary, and that inspired it. Just how it was so chaotic, and a lot of those people, like the samurai lords and stuff, they were always under threat of getting thrown out and killed. All that. I was amazed how how much upheaval there was at that time, just between different clans, but it eventually settled down. But for a long time there, it was just like, who's my friend, who's my enemy?
I'm sure you watched.
Your friend could be your enemy,
I don't know what
like
it's on.
so easily.
Hulu or something.
And
I read all the James Clavell. I don't know what they're called, Shogun and Taipan and all that kind of stuff years ago, and that came out. The Shogun came out on
the Shogun and stuff. Shogun.
I don't know. My wife was out of town or something. I said, "This is a good opportunity." And I was late to the game because I remember everybody was saying just how great it was and telling me to watch it and shit. And I just hadn't had a chance. Yeah, I binged that for a week, man. She was out of town for a week. And I'm just like, no work got done. I was so good. But man, I forget his name, the character's name. But like he had messed up somehow. And they took his wife had a baby. Yeah. And the baby got punished. The baby was done, and then the guy was done. And I'm like, man, this is like working for the Empire in Star Wars. You know, this ain't shit. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think a lot of times, like in life, it's still like that. Like sometimes your friends are your enemies, and it's sometimes you need just a little bit of.
And that happens. That happens. You've all gone through it. If you haven't gone through it, get ready, kids. Get ready, because it will happen. the person you thought you could count on when the chips are down suddenly is nowhere around. My advice is try not to be that person. It only happened once in my life that I got cheated on by a girl.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it happened now because I'm the type of person that doesn't cheat on my wife or before we were married, the girls I was dating, because it was a shitty feeling when it happened to me. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to be the cause of that to anybody else. And yeah, when people let you down, and it isn't just women, relationships like that, it just friendships can change. And sometimes you're the biggest people, your biggest cheerleaders. Things happen. You come to find out they weren't on your side, and for whatever reason. And just try not to do that. Just be straight up with people. Life is so much easier. So much easier. Be a good hang. Be fun to hang out with. Life just goes a lot better. Let's play it. Let's play it. This is In the Midst of Lions. Here it is, folks. Nice. Greg Julius, everybody. Check it out. And we're back, folks. We're back. How about that? Yeah. I know all the Rowan out there want to avenge their master. Very inspiring. I'm teasing. I'm giving Greg a little bit of a hard time. What a great track. What a great track. Greg Julas is the name of the artist we're talking with tonight. A fantastic musician. I wanted to ask you, I'm greedy. I'm greedy. That's the word I'm looking for. I want more. Are you planning on releasing singles every couple months or?
Yeah. I got the people I work with, the band, the musicians. I asked them to send me, just like to open up my creativity a bit, just to send me something. Because usually I've been writing the songs myself, like the format and everything.
Fantastic.
But I said, you guys just send me something, because I think that will help inspire me, open up my creativity a bit. And you get all these different influences from the different people in the band. And so I think it makes it a lot more interesting. Nice. So anyways, the new song we're going to release pretty soon is called King for a Day. And it's very heavy, it sounds just fantastic what they sent me. So I'm just getting ready to throw it in my studio down.
I'm going to stay right in touch. When you're ready to start
sent me the track,
we'll have you back on.
A few little changes.
It's been a lot of fun tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
folks, that's going to wrap things up and everything for us tonight.
Really fun to talk.
I've got to get in here and, man, I haven't had my dinner yet. It's late tonight. It's got busy doing stuff. And I got to take the dog for a walk. That's the other. I'm like exciting life. People are like, it's Friday night. What are you going to nightclubs and stuff? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I eat some porridge and take the dog for a walk. Anyway, it wasn't always the case, but it's going to be tonight. Yeah. Anyway, everybody out there, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Remember anytime, Rick. Folks, remember the world's a weird place still.
Yeah,
be patient, be kind. If the waitress is taking a little extra time she's busy, bring you your cup of coffee. Just be patient with her. You'll get it. Nobody's on an operating table. Keep things in perspective. Okay, folks.
That's right.
We will see you next time. And Greg, thanks again for being on the show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Very good time. Okay.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited.
Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.